I get it. I understand your child was dysregulated, but he did flip a desk and there needs to be a punishment. Therefore, he will be suspended for 2 days. Has your school ever told you that? Did you disagree? I'm Frances Shefter with Shefter Law PA, where we help families have a stress-free IEP experience. And here's the thing. Yes, there kind of needs to be punishment, but it needs to be appropriate punishment and not necessarily called a punishment, a consequence. Because yes, our neurodiverse children get dysregulated when their needs aren't being met. And as we all know, behavior is communication. And so their needs aren't being met. They get overwhelmed. They get dysregulated. They're not thinking. They're not making choices. They're just reacting and trying to get themselves out of that situation. So, yes, should they be punished for that? No, but there has to be consequences. Why does there have to be consequences? Because let's think about it. If your child's not in school, if your child's out in the community and something like this happens, a police officer is not going to stop and wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have an IEP? How are we? What are we going to do? No, the police officer is going to take action. A security guard is going to take action. Another person that your child might be interacting with is going to take action. And that's a problem because what the schools are doing is when they're not having consequences, they're teaching the kids like, oh, you can get away with it. Oh, you can get away with it. It doesn't matter. And then they get out in the community and it does matter. So looking at what is the behavior? What is the need? And this is where like a functional behavior assessment comes in. What's the antecedent? What is happening? The problem is schools then do a behavior intervention plan. That's not what our kids need because it's not a behavior that they have a choice that they can change. What our kids need is to figure out what is the trigger and how can we prevent the trigger and how can our kids understand what the trigger is and be able to have their own way of stepping out of it instead of exploding and getting to that point. So today's show Tuesday's show was with Janelle McCarthy, who's a psychologist or licensed social worker, sorry, who shared about some techniques and tips that you can do. We have a show every Tuesday at noon that we go live and we help you build your village. So don't forget to jump over to shefterlaw.com so that you can register for the next shows. You can see the next 5 shows and register for all of them. Thank you for listening. I'm Frances Shefter with Shefter Law PA, where we help families have a stress-free IEP experience.